Welcome to the FRC Historian. You might notice that in the description I have a form that I'd like some of you to fill out. Today's video is going to be concerning some examples of where something bad may have happened to an alliance partner or something that was about to, and the other alliance members or the alliance member in question were able to still work together and pull off a win despite that. I have 3 examples today from my own personal knowledge, and I'd like to show you those because a lot of what I've seen is biggest FRC fails with robots, but I think it's also very important to look at those times where something bad would have happened like that, but teams were able to get together and do their best despite that. So I'm going to show you those 3, but before that, the forum is something I want to be able to use for some information, because one thing I was thinking about is, how many times has there been a comeback in FRC? Of course, everyone knows of a few here or there, like with upsets, but what I'm thinking about is like a match where Alliance was on the losing end, but was able to come back and win it. Of course, there's many examples of that, but I'd like to see some of your examples. So if you wouldn't mind, go down below. It's only one question, and I'd like to know what comebacks you've seen, so I can make a video on that. Thank you. Now, let's go into those 3 examples. Starting out chronologically with 2016 Michigan State Championship. For those of you who were there or know about it, the Michigan State Championship finals were an interesting event, because in the finals, the second alliance, consisting of Team 27, 67, and 17-18, had been able to do pretty well through the octofinals, quarterfinals, and semifinals. Now once they reached the finals, 17-18 broke a little bit through the finals match, and thus they weren't able to do much throughout it. And so knowing this, they were able to inform their alliance partners, and in the first match, the alliance partners were able to coordinate some more scoring, as well as coordinate a double hang, which actually allowed them to win the first match by 5 points. And because of that forewarned knowledge, knowing that something might not be right during the match, they were able to properly switch out with Team 6086 Ignition, a rookie at the time. And the alliance was able to pull it off. After losing the second match, they pulled it off in the third match, winning the state championship. Now let's move on to the second, which is also in 2016. Now the one I'm concerns actually near one of the final matches in 2016 with Team Beachbots. Now one of the things about them is that they built a higher up robot that could not do the low bar, but at the same time it could score pretty well, very well. And one of the things I saw about it was that they were able to use momentum as a factor to successfully get back up after falling down. Because in, I think it was one of the semis matches on Einstein, they actually fell over. And everyone gasped, as they normally did. And what happened was, after they fell over, they actually got back up, which isn't something that happened to every single robot that fell over that year. And because of that, they were able to win their match and move on to the finals. Now, let's move on to the third one that I know pretty well, in 2018. Now, if any of you watched the Einstein finals matches in 2018, Detroit, sorry, to clarify, one of the things that happened in the first match were 2 things almost occurred that completely would have changed the outcome. That completely changed the outcome of Worlds. In the first match, at almost identical times, Team 2767 Strike Force almost tipped over. And at exactly that same time, the Comet's robots broke because I think of a cut wire. So at the exact same time, two robots on Einstein Field in the finals almost were debilitated. Now, unlike the Comets, who had something broken in their robots, Team 2767's partner, Rush, was able to back up and get them back up, so they were able to win the match, and then they went on to win the championship. I think that's a very interesting thing to see, because if you look at the symbolism in both alliances, had both of them fallen, would have been interesting, because then there would have been 2-on-2 for the entire match. Not to mention, if Strikeforce had fallen, they would have potentially fallen on the switch, sacrificing their match. So there's my 3 examples that I know of pretty well from personal experience, but I know for a fact that there are many other examples that I did not touch upon. Let me know down below in the comments if you'd like to see those. And please fill out the survey if you can. I really do want to see some of those comebacks, because there are some great ones, like for instance Finals 1 in Houston Einsteins, where Cheesy Poofs did not hit their 4-cube Auton, and thus the other alliance were able to take it in Auton. One of their alliance robots fell, and then Cheesy Poofs and Robo Wranglers were able to take it back. But I know there are so many other examples in so many years. I know of examples in Steamworks where a team would be winning the entire match by a rotor, and then at the very end, the other alliance would win it by climbs. So please let me know down below. I know there's so many examples from so many years. Love to make a video on all of them you're able to give me. And thank you for listening.